classroom, one of my favorite new tech tools that I've used is Destiny Collections, because at the beginning when kids couldn't come in and browse for the library, we made Destiny Collections and resource lists so that kids could easily browse and pick out a book that they wanted. And even though they can come in now, I'm still going to continue to use these because they've been a really great tool for me to use with kids.
JeopardyLabs.com with my second graders, and we were reviewing for a test for over 2D, 3D shapes, quadrilaterals, and then we had mystery questions. We used dot paper to draw the 3D shapes. And so in my classroom, the children can come up and tap a question. What two-dimensional shape has 5 sides? They each get in groups and they talk about the answers, and then they say the answer. And as you can tell, we played this game this week. Team 5 won, but it's just a fun way for the children to get to review the material and have fun at the same time. But JeopardyLabs.com has helped me with a lot of little review things.
I use Flipgrid during my writing conferences. Each kid will come up with their iPad and scan the QR code that is on the smartboard. When they are done with that, they will read through their whole story on Flipgrid, and I will go later that night to listen to their writing so I can plan my writing conferences based on what they need.
Okay, this year during our COVID protocol, there's several things I've used technology-wise that's really helped my instruction be, I feel like, better. Number one, I use Desmos, and I've also used Edulastic in our math instruction. Both of these technology tools helps us to be able to monitor those students at home as well as students in the classroom when I kind of have to be right near my computer for my WebEx kids. So I've really enjoyed both of these this year, and I will continue to use these in the years ahead.
I think this year, as a result of COVID, I've gotten more proficient with Google Classroom. I definitely don't print as much as I used to, and with apps like Flipgrid, and I was able to give the kids more choice, and I feel like they've taken more ownership over their projects. So I think it's been a really good year, I think.
So my favorite technology tool this year is actually my document camera. I would not be able to survive this school year without it. In environmental science, we use it for doodle notes for different units. One of the best units that we use it for is when we talk about nutrient cycles and how carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus get cycled through the environment and through the organisms involved in those nutrient cycles. We also use it a lot for labs. We just did a shark dissection, and my virtual kids were able to participate in dissection and actually see everything as their lab group was going through the different systems in the shark. And even though they weren't here, they got the full experience minus the smell. And in chemistry, it is the best tool for teaching all of the math concepts, especially stoichiometry, because they can see what I'm doing. I can see them while I'm teaching it and writing it out for them. And it's a great way for formative assessments because they make faces a lot when we are doing math concepts and they have no idea what's going on.
Hey, I've really enjoyed using the Virtual Learning Academy just in organizing my agendas. It's definitely something that I'm going to be doing in future years, just to kind of see a long-range plan kind of mapped out already. The bands have also been recording a lot of our performances since we were limited in what we were allowed to do this year. So, recording projects have been a really great way to prepare the kids for live performance, and it's also been great to showcase them in our morning broadcasts.
As school counselors, we found ourselves with big issues this year because we have students coming off of one of the most traumatic times that we have ever seen in our country, in our homes, and in our schools. And I needed a way that I could address our student population as a whole on a daily basis. So I used technology to create my morning mindset videos daily for all of our students here at Cedar Grove. And in that we addressed mindfulness, and we addressed emotional health, and we addressed social health, just to make sure that we were hitting all of those bases that needed to be covered since our children have been through such a trying time.
Hey everyone, this year I wanted to focus on classroom community in my virtual classroom. A lot of times I don't like for my students' work to be shown on my actual class page using the Seesaw app, So I incorporated using the blog for different activities that they created. With this, you can choose specific assignments you want shared for your whole class, and then they can go in and leave comments or audio comments and encourage each other to build the classroom community.
In Spanish, I love everything I have learned this year to share with my students. Google Form has been a hit. You know, I can take a look at what they have learned, what they do, and I can learn who is behind, who's falling behind, who's grasping the concept. And but I have learned about games, Quizlet, Nearpod is one of my favorites, and I love giving students a variety of things to stimulate the brain from everywhere, and they kind of enjoy it too.
So this year in Math 8 at Palmetto, we used the digital notebook where we were able to interact with kids. We were able to slip and slide slides to them with links and lessons, and then they were able to submit work that way, and it was just a one-stop shop for all of everything.
And in our digital notebooks, we have our slides that are for our Desmos. We have been using our Desmos to link all of our different blocks. And Desmos has been really helpful this year for the feedback. It's really quick to give feedback and see what our kids are learning and see exactly what they're having questions about. And it's really interactive. They can graph things, they can sketch things, and that's been really helpful this year to keep them in their spot, but also give them feedback as we go through class.
One of the biggest challenges this year has been visibility and engagement. In kindergarten, we're so used to having a carpet where the kids can come up and interact with us every day, and that's just been so hard. So one thing that I've done this year is take my lessons that I put on the board and I've integrated them into Seesaw. So my kids can click through my lesson and be interactive on Seesaw while I'm teaching the lesson, and I can walk around the room and not be tied to my board and make sure that they're doing a great job. And I'm really excited because I wouldn't have thought to do that before this year, but I hope to continue that practice for the remaining years.
One of the best technology aspects, components, resources that I used this year was Nearpod. Nearpod allows you to put all of your lessons into one easy location for kids to access if you're going to be out sick, if they're going to be out sick. And I found it just so easy to use. It was kid friendly, it was teacher friendly for people like me who have been teaching a long time. I do plan on using Nearpod next year because I think it will be not only easy for me and for the kids because they will have already known how to use this. So Nearpod definitely is a keeper for me.
Okay, this year during COVID-19, I was able to incorporate Google Jamboard into my classroom. Using this allowed my kids to collaborate and work together just like they were doing before COVID, but they could do it digitally. And I plan on using this in my classroom next year to allow my kids to continue working digitally and collaborating together.
Something that I'm taking away from this year is how much of an asset technology is and how it is here to make our lives easier. I was really intimidated by technology before this year, and now that I've had to use it, I've realized how much easier it makes my life. And the instructional technology team has been wonderful to help me with any questions I've had. I actually use Google Docs to organize all of my RTI information now. With table of contents, I can just jump from kid to kid, and it makes life easier with the IEP teams I work with. And it's helped me to make little mini movies for my parents to see what their kiddos are learning in class. And so I just feel a lot more comfortable with technology after this year, and I'm really excited to continue to try new things moving forward.
One instructional strategy that I have loved about Seesaw this year is I have scanned our weekly shared reading text and created an assignment in Seesaw where the kids are able to read independently the shared reading book every day, and we celebrate our shared reading every week by recording themselves reading the shared reading text on Fridays. And another instructional strategy that I've loved about Seesaw is our team, our grade level team, has been able to create CFAs together, and we've been able to share them easily amongst the team. So it's been a great way to collaborate with each other too.
I use Seesaw all the time, every day, specifically in my math group activities. It's super easy to create an activity on your own, but it's even easier to find one that's been created either by someone in our district in our grade level or also on the community tab where you can find some that have been previously created for you. It's super user friendly for me as a teacher, but also for the students.